자존심 소닉TV와 함께하고 있습니다. 픽스스타리그 32가 김현우와 최우선 승자조 경기인데 여기서 이긴 선수가 16강 올라가죠?
그렇습니다. 16강에 바로 다이렉트로 올라갈 수 있는 선수를 가릴 수 있는 경기니까요. 빠르게 준비되는 대로 하도록 하죠. 준비됐네요.
네, 김현우와 최우선 선수의 경기입니다. 서킷 브레이커인데 단판 승부입니다. 경기 바로 가보도록 하죠.
Whoa, alright. Looks like we're ready to go. I was totally, just looking at Steam games. Anyway. Whoa, I gotta change the overlay and everything. Oh my god. I'm so unprepared. Alright, I got this. Okay, Sock versus Modesty. Winner's match. Best of one, I believe, on Circuit Breaker. Looks like we will be allying Modesty here. Although thankfully it's no longer a mirror matchup, so it's a little easier to keep track of who is who. Alright, perfect. Anyway, yes, alright, TVZ action, no more mirror matchup action, as much as, or as fun as they can be. You know, I gotta say, both of those series, the TVT and the ZVZ, were actually relatively good as far as mirror matchups go. And let's see how Modesty can fare here against Sock. I mean, I definitely rate Sock as a higher player. Again, Sock, you know, made the semifinals of the last SSL, where I believe he lost to Killer. So, you know, that's not too bad, considering Killer was an amazing form back then. Not anymore though, getting knocked out in the first round here. Oh boy. Anyway, maybe I shouldn't keep bringing that up. I'll make Harum sad. So we're gonna have a 12 hatch, of course, and looks like just normal barracks in the main base for the Terran. I'd imagine just a 1-Rex expand. We are in vertical spawns, which means the air distance between the naturals is going to be very, very short. So opening up any kind of muta opening, 2-hatch or 3-hatch muta, should be fairly effective, I'd imagine. Especially because not only is the air-to-air distance close, but the ground path that Marines would have to take to attack the Zerg's natural is sort of going around like this, which means you can harass the back of the Terran's natural, and then if you see him attacking, you just go in and harass the Marines as well, and it's a very easy little path. You don't have to really travel very far. So that's going to be quite annoying for Sock. I think going for 2-hatch muta in these spawns might even be a really good idea. And yes, indeed, we do see the gas here from Modesty, so so it is going to be a 2-hatch muta opening, indeed. And let's see what Sock is doing. Looks like just going to be a 1-Rex expand as expected. Really solid standard opening. Oh, nope. Gonna get away. Well, looks like Sock is being a little annoying here, stealing one of those minerals from his opponent. One useful thing, by the way, about taking these minerals is it's not just sort of like a little snub at your opponent, but also it allows you, like, if you get into trouble, you know, if you're like about to get surrounded by Zerglings or something, you can just hit C for return cargo, and you'll just slide through everything. Like, normally you can do this by, you know, going to a mineral field and right-click on minerals, but if you're in a panic and you just can't find any minerals to click or something, you know, you just hit C, and then boom, your worker will save itself, and it's quite convenient. It's like the panic key. Maybe Gozu players don't suffer from this problem, but you know, at my level, it's quite convenient. If your worker's about to die, you just can't. You don't have the time to go back to your main and click the minerals. Just hit C, and you're fine. Anyway. There is the Spire. I'm not actually sure if the SU saw it. I think it did. But I mean, even if he didn't, he should basically know by now that it's a 2-hatch muta. So you're just gonna have to, you know, build a few turrets here and there, play a bit defensively, and that'll be all good. 2H Muta does need to do a little bit of damage to the Terran because you are sacrificing a little bit of early game economy, although, you know, the way the Zergs do it nowadays, getting a fast third and then following it up with, or teching past it anyway, is pretty nice. You can see already the third hatch being planted here at the third base. At 6 o'clock. Couple of Zerglings poking over, nothing too severe. No bunker at the front, which could be slightly risky here because a lot of times when Zergs go 2H or even 3H Muta, they'll do like a pre-Muta Zergling attack and try and kill as many Marines as possible. So this little position here seems somewhat dangerous and exposed. He doesn't even have a depot there to, like, you know, narrow it down a little bit. It's really, really very open, so I'm a little bit worried in that regard. Conversely, by not having buildings here, or by not having like a depot blocking here, it gives him a bit more freedom of movement when the mutas do hit, because, you know, one of the areas where mutas love to camp out and pick stuff off is at the ramp between the main and the natural, because it's quite a vulnerable area. So leaving that open sort of helps in that defense. Anyway, what do we have here? We've got, it looks like it was just like a 2-Rax Academy follow-up. He didn't go for the fast +1 attack like we often see. So eBay is just going to be finished up now. Presumably it's just going to be finished up in time so that the turrets will be finished right as the mutas pop. It doesn't look like he got his timing quite perfect though. The turrets are going to be slightly late, but there's only a few mutas out just yet. So the Marines should be able to hold them off for long enough for these turrets to get up. Well, presumably that would be the optimal thing. It looks like, oh man, the mutas are taking a lot of damage here. Modesty getting a little bit over eager here and actually making it into the main though, so gonna get some more SCV kills, but he's gotta be careful. He's not really stacking them perfectly, and he's gonna get a little bit caught. No, he is gonna scoot out on the left side, so that's quite nice. The turrets in the main obviously were built slightly later than the ones in the natural because, you know, Sock would have assumed the mutas would go for the natural first, which meant the main was actually a little bit more exposed. Meanwhile, we can see the third gas is being taken now. I'd imagine a Hydroden's already been placed and he's going for lurkers. You know, if you're not going to go all in with a 2-hatch Muta, you don't even need to stay on Mutas that long. You can just make a few extra Mutas after the initial bunch. But you don't need to go overboard with the Muta count. Anyway, we're not seeing his main just yet. And here we go. Looks like taking a few more hits here. Well, he's done a decent amount of damage, but we can see now that a lot of turrets have been built, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for him now to actually do too much more. No, he's not going for a Hydroden. He's going crazy Zerg. He's going straight Hive. Oh my god, Modesty is he's doing the crazy Zerg, which is Mutaling straight into Ultraling, effectively, into Hive. So he's going to get very fast Carapace and basically just rely on really tanky Ultras and Cracklings to just mow down the Terran here. It's a very risky strategy. He's going to need to hold the Terran back with Mutas and Lings until he can actually get to Hive, which is not easy. So now he is actually going to keep pumping out these Mutas because he needs them to keep the Terran back. But it is so hard. Mutaling in a straight-up fight against Medic Marine will get absolutely shredded. It is not a cost-efficient you know, unit composition unless you have an overwhelming force compared to the Terran and you get a big surround with Zerglings and whatnot. But you can see in these engagements, he's taken a lot of damage, especially when the Marines get an upgrade. It'll just be really, really devastating. And getting to Ultras with all those Carapace upgrades just takes so long. So it's, you know, he's gonna have to have really good control, which, I mean, he's doing okay, but he keeps losing a Muta every time he goes in for these swings, so it's not gonna be easy. The one thing he does have going for him is it's a little bit difficult for the Marines to actually cross this bridge, because when they try to cross these narrow bridges, they'll expose themselves a lot more to the Muta harass. So in that regard, it is actually helping. The map is helping to delay the Marine attack here. The question is whether it's going to be enough. In fact, one thing that the Zerg could also do if he has a lot of Mutas going for this crazy Zerg style is because you can actually, I've also seen Zergs just go straight Guardians instead of the Ultras, which is pretty funny. I think By Hero does this occasionally, which is pretty crazy. Anyway, we'll see here. I mean, he does have a lot of Mutas, and that would also reduce the amount of time it takes to get up there. Meanwhile, ooh, a few Lings coming in here, allowing him to get a good number of Marine kills. That was a pretty effective trade, I think, there. I mean, he doesn't have to kill everything. He just needs to whittle down the Marines enough. Yeah, he is actually going Greatest Spark. He's not actually going, you know, straight Crazy Zerg for the Ultras. He's going for the Guardian variation here, and I think this is also going to be very effective on this map because there's a lot of space behind the natural to put those Guardians. It's even better than fighting, there's even more room than on fighting Spirit, I think. You know, there's basically a lot of empty ground there, a lot of just space, impassable ground. So you can just put a million Guardians back there. Now we do see a second starport being constructed for Sock. I'd imagine he'd want to get some raids. Whoa, that is a lot of turrets. No chance for the Mutas to go into the main base, but they won't have to with those Guardians. But it looks like the Marines are trying to come out. They want to push out. The Mutas went a little bit too far up into the main, but you can see they're grabbing a nice little angle here while the Marines cross the bridge, and it looks like there's so many Mutas here. Sock could be in serious trouble. I think Modesty might actually just win once he makes some Guardians here. There's almost no Marines left here. Sock is in serious trouble. Is Modesty really going to 2-0 the group? Oh, man. Did not expect this, but actually he might just win with Mutas. Maybe he doesn't need Guardians. No, he's not going to commit. He's going to wait for the Guardians. Does not want to throw the game away, suiciding Mutas into that natural. But the Greatest Spark is finished now. The Guardians are morphing. Sock is actually making Valkyries. I thought he would make Wraiths to help against this, but I guess the Valkyries would also help against the Mutas and Scourge, whereas Wraiths really wouldn't. But Wraiths, I think, are slightly more effective against Guardians. But either way, Valkyries, Wraiths are both pretty good. It's like +1 Air Carapace is now also done for the Mutas. Now that's actually going to help quite a bit against the Valkyries because, of course, they have they do a lot of basically each Valkyrie rocket does separate damage by itself, so each rocket only does like 6 damage, which means the +1 Carapace is going to help a lot. But here we go, Guardians are out, even a Devourer is out here, and here's the assault. How is Sock going to stop this? I have no idea. Ling's going in as well. Sock, he has to hold this off. It looks like he might just retreat to his main base here. He's not even trying to defend the natural. He should at least pull the SCVs back. And here we go. He's going in. He's got 3 Valkyries. What is he going to do? He just needs to focus down the Mutas and the Devourers, actually. If the Devourers and the Mutas all die, then the Guardians will follow suit because they will not be able to attack the air units. But oh my god, there's just way too much here. Sock is going down here. Modesty's taking out Sock in the winner's match. GG! Modesty 2-0s the group and advances to the round of 16. Oh my goodness. Sock has fallen to the 2-hatch Mutas straight into Guardian style. Really, really awesomely played by Modesty. It did not look to me like his Muta Micro